Alright guys, I'm in a rare location where I can actually go live. I just started my second hike of the day. Of course, if you know me, you know I go out in Bigfoot a lot, so pretty day today, so I thought I'd go try it. I actually set up the first location I went to, I actually set up a game camera. And now I'm in another location where I have found quite a few Bigfoot tracks and things like that. Got a big coyote track there. But I've been pretty sick the last of 2018 and the first of 2019. I was pretty sick for about 2 months there. Still not 100% over it. But today is a very nice day. It's like in the 60s. Great day for hiking and great day for Bigfooting. So I thought I would do maybe a short live video to let you see where I'm at and what's going on. Now see, that's an interesting structure right here up beside me. I don't know if you can see that. See how that's pulled over and pinned? That's not saying that was Bigfoot, but they do that type of thing. I've seen it a lot. And this is a big hill, so hopefully I can pull it. It's been a while. And if you don't know, right now I'm in Harlan County, Kentucky. And it is a place where there's been several Bigfoot sightings. You can see behind me, there's been several Bigfoot sightings here in reports. Oh, first time I've been out this year due to sickness, so this is kind of getting the old lungs and heart going. Beautiful area in here though. It's just the winter time and of course no leaves and it's ugly. But that's just part of it. If I remember correctly, the last time I was in here, which was in 2018, we had some coyote action in here last time I was in here, and we found some tracks too as well, Bigfoot tracks. Gotta catch my breath. It takes a while to get back in shape when you're kind of laid around in the winter. Been sick too, so and also the last time we was in here, which I don't think it happened today, but we ran in on some snakes. And that's never fun. It was me and Tony Pelosi. He don't like snakes at all. Pretty area, just steep. And like I was saying, in case you missed the first part of the video, this is my second trip out really today. First trip I went into a real hot spot for Bigfoot and set up a game camera. I figured I'd leave it there for probably I want to get to go get it to spring sometime. And then I thought, well, I want to go to this area too, because I've never been in this area in the fall, or in the winter. So I wanted to come by and check it out. As long as the rain will hold off. Ouch. As I was saying earlier, this area is it's hike only. You can't bring a four-wheeler or a horse or a car or anything like that up in here where I'm at. But somebody has, I guess they broke the lock or cut the lock off, and they've had four-wheelers up in here. And of course that's it's illegal, of course, but I guess they don't care. And I guess maybe they didn't want to walk this hill. But this is a real good Bigfoot area. There's no houses that are nearby. You have a large body of water, lots of deer, coyotes, bears, you name it, it's in here. And it's quiet today. Well, let's see if we can make it on up the mountain. Now, last year when I was in here, I couldn't go live because I couldn't get the signal. I guess it was because of the leaves and things like that. But it being winter, all the leaves are down. Of course, we get a little more signal. That being sick has wiped me out. Here in my area of Kentucky in Harlan and Bell County, predominantly our Bigfoot reports are of the color is black. That's the most. I mean, we do get a few red ones and brown ones and even a white one or two, but probably 9 out of 10 Bigfoot reports from this area are black. This is Kentucky. I'm in Harlan County, Kentucky. I can't, of course, type back, but I can tell you. Thanks for viewing, Melissa. But predominantly in this area, our Bigfoot reports are of black Bigfoot. Normally, height-wise, you're looking at anywhere from 6 to 8 feet is probably the average. The one I saw, the biggest one I saw, was probably, I saw it with my own eyes, of course, was, I would guess 10 foot tall. And I didn't even realize how big it was until another man that I know was standing where I saw this thing at. And he's about a 6 foot man, and it was way bigger than him. But, like I was saying, this is an area that you can hike in. It's open to the public for hiking, not for four-wheeling or not for horses or anything like that, or a car. So you basically have to walk it. And somebody cut the lock off. All right, Bell County. Yeah, that's actually, I live in Bell County. I'm close to the Harlan Bell line. So found a lot of stuff in Bell County too. So this is a real good area here. Like I say, there's nobody really close by. God, I smell smoke. Bad time of year for fires. That sinus infection and that bad cold that's going around just about wiped me out. And plus I'm overweight. Hey Daniel, I'm trying to gasp for air. 60 something degrees and I've been sick, so. And that's the first hill's a good one. Once you get back here, there's several forks that you can go to. I've been all over them. The one that's the longest continues on. We got tired of walking it. We walked it for about 3 hours and then had to turn and walk back. So I've found tracks and things like that in here. And as warm as it is today too, bears will probably be out. A lot of times people think bears hibernate all through the winter, but they don't. We've had 3 or 4 days where the temperature's been above 50 during the day. Oh, Mr. Bear, come out. And of course I am out here by myself. Most people like Daniel are at work and stuff like that. And I did get, like I said, if you missed it earlier, I did go to another location and set up a game cam. I don't have no signal there, of course. I'm surprised I have it here, to be honest with you. How about we give us a whoop down this holler? Whoop! Whoop! All I got was Mr. Crow hollering at me. When we was in here last summer, we had something followed us for a long way, but we never could get a picture of it, or we tried though. I don't know how long we'll be able to do the live feed through here. If something happens, we lose signal. I thank everybody for that watched. We're coming up on an area where I found tracks before, and where I have found some breaks. And we found a lot of weird stuff here in the edge of the woods, which we couldn't really determine if it was a bear or a Bigfoot, which I think we both end up leaning toward bear. But now the tracks are definitely not bear. We're going downhill, of course. I believe I like going downhill better than uphill. Right here is one of the forks in the road. You can actually go out that way. It goes out that ridge. It ends up way over in there, and it kind of, the trail just kind of ends basically. and then you're just kind of alone in the woods, which I've done that a few times over there too. Never had much luck out that way. It's really dry, but as you go down this way, of course, it's the road forks again, and it's much more moist. There's a creek and things like that. I've found tracks through here, but of course you can see now the leaves have got everything covered. And this is pretty steep too. Hopefully I can make the loop and I don't have to come back up this way. I have done it several times, but I'd rather go the other way. It's a little easier. You get my age, you gotta try to save all the steps you can, I guess. At the I guess we lost the signal there. At the first location, of course, I didn't stay there long because I just mostly wanted to set up the game camera and look around. But I did manage to find some coon tracks, or raccoon tracks rather, and a few things like that. But I guess we lost the feed a while ago. That's typical. We'll probably lose it again when we get down deep in this hollow. Whoa, that's slick. That's pretty slick right there. But yeah, I didn't stay very long at the first location. It's, I don't know. Man, that's pretty slick right there. I'm going to swap hands. At the bottom of this hill where the road forks, I found several tracks there over the years. So, kind of hope maybe we can find something down there today. This hill is slick. We're almost to the bottom, so. Alright, and here we are where the road forks again. I have went both ways. That way there, I walked it. Me and Tony Felosi walked it probably for 3 hours. After you go past the cemetery, there's a cemetery out there you can go to. We walked it. It didn't really have no end. It just kept going. We got tired and had to come back. So this way here is not too bad. When the lake water's down, you can actually make the whole loop. It's not too bad. And I have found numerous tracks right through here. As you can see, it's real moist. And somebody's had a four-wheeler back here, which they're not supposed to, but they do anyways. I've got the majority of my gear with me for casting and things like that. If I do find something that's so worth casting a track or something. But it's such a warm day, I sure didn't want to just waste it sitting at home. Here we go. I can't tell what that is. It looks like the heel of a boot. Let me see it. Looks like the heel of a boot. Could possibly be an old bear track. Yeah, it's a boot track. I seen another one back there. Old, but it's a boot track. Probably the people that wasn't supposed to have the four-wheelers back here. Ouch, brar. Alright guys, I'm gonna turn this phone off for a little while and head on out my trail. Thanks for all who watched. If I find anything super interesting, I'll maybe film it again. See ya. Can't see for the sun. And when you finally reach your destination, or at least your halfway point, you come out here at the lake. Normally the lake is, well, in the summertime it's backed up all the way back into here, which is actually a good place to come and look for tracks, and that's what I like to do. Probably wind noise, but you see behind me. I'm probably about the halfway point of getting back to the truck. I've got, with the other stop and stuff, I've got a little over 3 miles in today, which is not bad considering the terrain we're in. But normally this lake is backed up all the way over this old road and all the way back into there. But that's a good place to come and look for tracks. And if you're so inclined, you could probably find some old fishing lures down here too if you wanted to. Let's walk out this way. Years ago, my dad drove on this old road to go to work in the mornings. But of course, the Corps of Engineers and stuff bought all this. And they turned it into the lake, which is alright. I've caught some pretty good fish up here over the years. Swam some over here. Oh, there's some tracks. And people tracks. Somebody's coming this way fishing. Yeah, it's nice out here. But normally you can't get into this area unless you got a boat. So I'm going to take advantage of the water being down and walk a little bit. It's about that time to do some walleye fishing too. If they don't have so much restrictions on it this year. It's hard to go spend the time to go fishing if you can't keep but one fish or something. I'm a growing boy, I gotta have more than one fish. And normally all this is underwater, so it's a pretty lake. Over there's the beach area. I used to swim in that a lot when I was younger. Things have really changed up here to what it was back when I was growing up. Used to, or on the beach area to the right there, they had a little building where you could rent floats and paddle boats and stuff like that, but gosh, that's been gone forever. And if I remember correctly, all the sand that's on the beach there was hauled in from South Carolina and placed there. So when the water's down, I can actually walk the old road back up to where I parked, which makes it a lot easier so I don't have to go up those big hills. Well, I gotta go up one hill, but not a big hill. Yes, Melissa, it is a pretty area. I've already checked back in there for tracks. And I also checked that old cooler, there's nothing in it. Water. And for those who maybe don't know, I'm in Harlan County, Kentucky. I just walked what's known as the Shadow Trail, or a part of it anyways. It's got a couple of forks off in it, you can go for miles and miles and miles. So, but I walk this, the easier one, I guess. It's a place where I have found a lot of tracks and stuff over the years. And normally this is all underwater as well. I did find tracks here one time that kind of got me excited, but it was a human. And why in the God's world somebody would walk barefooted through there, I'll never know. I'd have been afraid to get a hook in my foot or something, or glass. But it wasn't all a loss. I actually used that track. I cast it, even though it was a human track, and I use it as an example when I do my presentation. Let's see if we can get across this thing. Rolling now. Uh-oh. This all slid in. I think it was last year's when all this slid in. Anybody who's slightly adventurous ought to come and take this little walk. It's only about, the whole loop's probably about 2 miles or something. It's not too bad, especially when the water's down. You can take the easier way back. Look out there in the water. Is that something in the water? Is that just a stick up? I see a bird there, fisher. last year when I was over here, I seen an eagle, a mature bald eagle. He came in to where we was fishing, and he sat there for a while, and then all at once he swooped down and got him a fish. It was something to see. How close have I came to Bigfoot? The one I heard talk was in the area I first went to today and set up a game cam. I was probably within 40 feet of him. What I think was going on there, I had a camera and I was documenting the sighting, and of course I was speaking to the camera, and I think the Bigfoot was mimicking what I was doing, you know, as far as the speech part. It sounded like somebody that was just far enough out of earshot that you couldn't make out words, but you could hear them talking. And that's probably the closest I've been. And then last year, I had one within probably 40 yards, not feet, yards, 40 yards, that done a tree knock. It's actually in that little show I do on Amazon, the Almost Live Season 2. It's actually in it. A lot of times I'll do whoops, and very rarely do I get a reply, but I've discovered that whoops will oftentimes bring Bigfoot to you. They'll come and see what's making the noise, and that's been very successful for me over the years. And then the best visual I had of a Bigfoot actually was right there at my house. This is a kind of an interesting story. Let me get out of this thicket. I had two neighbors that lived above a hill and just slightly to the left from me. Both of them passed away within a year of one another, but one of them had come to my house. That's when I was doing some computer repair work, and he needed his computer worked on. And he knew I did Bigfoot stuff. So he said, there's something coming in behind their house. And he said, I don't believe it's a bear. Well, in behind their house, they had a real old dog. It didn't have any teeth. It's really old. It's a bird dog. And so I told him, I said, well, it could be a Bigfoot. He said, well, I don't believe it's a bear. I said, well, you want me to come up there and look around? Of course, he said, yeah, he didn't care for me coming looking around. So in behind his house, I did find some tracks, and I found some things that were a fresh limb had been broke and put under an old dead stump. And I thought that maybe these Bigfoot were coming down and taking that toothless dog's food, which was very, very likely, because the dog was really skittish and scared and stuff like that. But another thing that lends credence to that story is that my other neighbor, who lives right across from me, he walks in the morning, and he had walked, this was probably, gosh, I don't remember, I think it's 2013 when this happened. He'd walked down the road, and he had came back up, and there was a Bigfoot on the side of the road. And he went across the road on the side that the other people I was talking about live on. And this was in maybe a quarter mile of where that happened. And well, anyways, when I seen the one, I felt a few tracks up there, you know, but behind that guy's house. But one day it was kind of snowy, and just a little light snow on the ground. And I stepped up to the window to look out, and I seen this Bigfoot. And it steps in between two big poplar trees, and it goes off to the right, and over to the right there's like a little hump and a ravine, and so it got in that ravine. I couldn't see it no more. But the reason I think it was up there is that my other neighbor, he would always put out scraps and stuff for the game and things like that to eat. And this one here was, I would say it was probably close to 10 foot tall. I seen all of its back, I seen its legs as it stepped between the trees. I seen its calf muscles and everything. It was I've never really told about that other than telling about it in my book, Bigfoot Witness. You got to buy it, it's on Amazon. A shameless plug. But I told about it in here because it was so fresh. But right there in that area, the one I seen was probably, I'd say close to 10 foot tall, if not 10 foot tall. The one my neighbor seen was about 6'5", according to his description. And actually, we have an interview with him on YouTube, and I also included it in one of my films, the Bigfoot Witness film, which Hit and the Bigfoot Witness book are kind of companions for each other. So I know there's, right there in my general area where I live, I know there's several credible reports of Bigfoot. And then, ooh, here you go, show you this. There's some jawbones. Hard to say what it might be, a young deer or something, but or a dog or possum or something like that. I'm having a hard time seeing the comments. Oh yeah, well, that's interesting too, Melissa. My father, who never believed in Bigfoot, used to give me a hard time about it. And he actually had one walk across the road in front of him at about 30 feet in front of his car one morning. And he waited 5 days to come and tell me. At the time, he was having some very bad, trying to keep that wind from making a lot of noise. At the time, he was having some real bad heart problems. And he come over to my house one time and said, I want to talk to you. And I just thought, I took it for granted that it was bad news he got on his heart or something like that. And he said, I seen a Bigfoot. And of course, my response was, you seen a what? Because he never did believe in Bigfoot. And he told me where it was at, and how he got to see it was, he was going real early in the morning to pick up my cousin who was night watching at a coal mine. And as the road comes over, it goes into a T. Well, to the right, you can't see. So you have to kind of swing your car out to the right so you can see if anything's coming. And my dad did that, and then all at once swung back to the left. And when he done this, the Bigfoot walked right up out of the creek, right across the road at 30 feet in front of him. And from that point on, Dad, of course, was a believer in Bigfoot. And I had him take me over there. And I found a trackway of over 30 tracks. I found out numerous things over the years. That's where the game cam picture I got came from. I got hit about, I don't know, probably a few months later. So my dad says he did not believe in Bigfoot for like 64 years. And then when he saw one, of course, he believed. And sometimes I think that's what it takes for people. They actually have to see it for themselves. I kind of liken it to religion. Until you have the experience, it's hard for you to believe. And of course, my very first film I did was based on my dad's sighting and some of my research into the area. I had a real crappy camera, and the film quality is terrible, but the information and the evidence is all real. And I've actually, you said you was in Bell County, Melissa. I've actually found stuff up on Pine Mountain too, tracks and stick formations. Hey, Jamie. Yeah, they're definitely around. I know in my area where I live, I know of at least 3 separate groups or 3 separate areas where Bigfoot is. One of them I had an experience, this was after my dad had his heart surgery, and we went ginsenging, and tied my backpack up, and he hadn't been long after his surgery, but they turned him loose to do stuff. And I was worried about it when we went ginseing because it was a very, very steep area. And we made it up that whoever who got to the truck first would blow the horn. So I made it up to the top of the mountain, and I found a little area with some ginseng in it. I guess there was probably, I don't know, 15, 20 bunches of ginseng. And then I heard the horn on the truck blow, and it kind of worried me because I thought maybe my dad was having some kind of complication, because he's probably only 6-8 weeks out of his heart surgery. He had a valve replaced and a valve repaired and a two-way bypass, best I can remember. So I got scared. I finished digging the ginseng, of course. I'm a trooper that way. And I thought I would hurry up and go and check on my dad. And I started down the mountain real fast, and I would stop periodically, and I'd holler, whoop, let him know I was coming. And I don't know, it probably took me, I'll say, a good 30-45 minutes to get down to where he was at. And as I got down into the road, I heard something going through the woods. And I thought it was my dad coming back to try to find me. And I said, hey, I'm right here. And whatever was in the woods stopped and said, hey, whoop. And about that time, the horn on the truck blew. And so by this time, I'm killed. I mean, I'm wore out from hurrying up down the mountain. And I walked around to where the truck was. And my dad, of course, was sitting in the truck. And I asked him, I said, did anybody come through here? He said, no. I said, I just been sitting here waiting on you. I said, well, nobody come through. He said, no. He said, well, I think that was a Bigfoot hollered at me. He said, well, I heard something going through the woods here, but I didn't. He said, I thought it might have been you. I said, no, it wasn't me. I was on the other side. And that was a really weird experience I had while out ginsenging. And you can find more of that story too on our blog. So, but that was a very interesting day. You live about 8 minutes from Mountain Drive. Yeah, that's a good area, even though it's heavily, it used to be heavily trafficked, with a lot of four-wheelers and things like that. And I think I'm going to have to swim to get around this tree. All right. But yeah, that's a real good area. I don't think they'll ever do the wildlife park. I don't think that'll ever be up there, but it's a nice area back there for sure. And as you can see, all the beautiful garbage. That's where the water, normally the water's all the way back in there, and you can't walk this way, so makes it a lot better though for me. Also, I probably could tell you guys that this summer, spring and summer, we are going to continue working on a new Bigfoot documentary. We filmed quite a bit already. We have a few interviews set up. We got an artist doing some stuff for us already for a personal encounter someone had. We've pulled a few night investigations where some things went on that was kind of interesting, and all that'll be in the film as well. And we just released the where are you at? I'm in Harlan County, Kentucky, at Martins Fork Lake area. Well, it used to be a lake, now I guess it's more of a stream, but it'll fill back up. And we also just released a paranormal film. We went and stayed at the Mysterious Monroe House in Hartford City, Indiana. And we caught some stuff going on there that was pretty wild. Yeah, normally you have to set up here and fish, but The water's way down. But I guess it'll come back up later. Here you go, look back that way. See the rock pile way back there? We're coming way around that way. We've come a long way. That was weird. Me and my buddy Jimmy Blanton's walked this a few times as well. Well, we don't fall in, I guess. Well, I'm almost out of here now. This probably put me around 4 or 5 mile mark. That's not too bad for the first time in 2019. And plus I've been sick a lot. Got a game camera set out. Found a few tracks of known animals like coon and some coyote tracks, things like that. So overall, it's been a good day. Oh Lord, it's getting hard on the old man. And as you can see, it is a gated area. Alright guys, I gotta go. Appreciate y'all watching.